Hello everyone! Wilds of Eldraine has come out and it is time to jump back into Standard. Now one of the standout cards for me in this new set is our very own mono white pseudo Crater Hoof Behemoth, giving all of our creatures flying and +X until the end of turn, where X is the number of creatures we control. So we're actually going to be playing this in a mono white go wide token styled deck. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other win conditions here. So of course we have get 8 mana and play the Moonshaker Cavalry, but we can also outvalue our opponent with Phyrexian Vindicators. These are going to be really strong attackers, even stronger blockers, and slow and steady. We're going to be able to dwindle down our opponent's health. We also have the new Regal Bunnicorn, so it's a unicorn, it's a rabbit, and its power and toughness are going to be equal to the number of non-land permanents we control, and oh boy are we going to be making a lot of tokens. So let's talk a little bit about those tokens as well. We do have Skrelv's Hive, so that's going to be a token every turn. We've got Wedding Announcement, again going to give us tokens. We have Restoration of Eiganjo, so this is good because this can ramp us. Not only are we going to be able to fetch those planes, we can actually discard lands and bring them back to the battlefield, or some of our other cheaper permanents as well, 2 or less, to get them onto the battlefield. And also, once we go to the flip side here, whenever the Architect of Restoration attacks or blocks, we can create another token. So that's going to be another creature, another permanent. Bunnicorn gets bigger. Our Crater Hoof effect is going to be even better. Very powerful. In the 1 mana slot, we have Crawling Chorus because it replaces itself with another creature. We have Lay Down Arms for some removal, and Luminarch Veteran. This is to offset the downside of Skrelv's Hive and also synergize really well with our token generation. The last thing that I didn't really talk about is Resolute Reinforcements. It has flash, so we can protect it from a board wipe, get 2 creatures onto the battlefield. Very strong in this deck. Mana base, fairly straightforward. We got 22 lands and then, or 23 lands and 1 Eiganjo, Seat of the Empire. Just going to give us a little bit more interaction with our opponents. Now, if you have been enjoying my videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on my latest content. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like. Let's go ahead and see how this deck does. Alright, so here we are on the play. This actually isn't too bad. We'll go ahead and keep. We have 2 Phyrexian Vindicators. We're going to be able to start with a Crawling Chorus here. Right, opponent starts with a blue land, passes the turn. We draw into another Resolute Reinforcements. So that's going to be good. We'll go ahead and swing out here. See if our opponent lets us have that poison counter. They do not. That's fine. We'll go ahead and end the turn. I'd much rather flash out the Resolute Reinforcements here. Alright. Let's see if we draw their counterspell now. If we do, we're free for Skrelv's Hive. Perfect. Yeah, so we move on to our turn, and now we've got Skrelv's Hive for free. That's going to generate us more value than our opponent's going to be able to deal with those 1-for-1 trades. It does seem like we're playing into a mono blue deck. Yep. So we're kind of afraid of a Djinn here. Ideally, our opponent taps out to play a creature, and then we draw a land so we can start playing our Vindicators. And we do draw our land, so let's go ahead and move to combat. Swing out here. See if our opponent lets us have that poison counter this time. They do. Now we do have options. Our opponent is very likely holding up a counterspell for us, so we're going to pass the turn. We're going to wait and try and use Resolute Reinforcements at the end of our opponent's turn, draw that counterspell, and if it doesn't work, then we have Phyrexian Vindicator. Again, I want to try and dodge the counterspells with these guys, because if we can land a Vindicator, we're going to be in a great spot. Alright, and now here we go with the reinforcements. Now that shows no counterspell for creatures, so we go Vindicator here. And we could swing out with everything, but I think we're just going to want to wait, because the Djinn's just going to block. Again, Vindicator is huge for us. Yep. That's fine. Opponent can't attack with the Djinn. Yep, we're going to keep on making our mites. And another Vindicator. Do we want to swing first? Now, let's go ahead and play out our Vindicator first, see if it gets countered. Okay, looking for a counterspell. Doesn't seem like they have it just yet. And they don't, so now we can start swinging in with our Vindicator. And honestly, at this rate, we'll just go ahead and swing with our other toxic creatures as well. Leave behind Resolute Reinforcements. Interesting. Blocking Crawling Forest, which is going to replace itself. Opponent down at 11. So now we're at a point where we are going to force blocks next turn. It's going to be really powerful for us. And we've got it. Alright. Alright. So our opponent goes first. This is a decent starting hand for us. We're going to hope we draw into a better turn 2 play. But I like starting with Luminarch Veteran. I like having Restoration. Nice. We'll see if they get rid of the Veteran or the Vindicator. They get rid of the Vindicator. Okay, Veteran into Resolute Reinforcement, so that's a great draw for us. Playing into a black deck, I'm not too afraid of this. No attacks, we'll end the turn here. We can flash in Resolute Reinforcements on our opponent's turn. Next we'll play Restoration. Restoration can get us Bunnicorn. Could also ramp us, depending on what we draw. Yep, I'm just gonna take this damage. No blocks. Yep, looks good. Opponent with only 4 cards in hand. Maybe they'll try and kill the Luminarch Veteran here. If they do, we flash in Reinforcements. Okay, Liliana. Let's see what they do with Liliana.
Those who get in my way
Discard a card. Okay. Let's go Resolute Reinforcements. Now, I think we're gonna discard the Wedding Announcement here, because we want Restoration, and I'd like to hold on to the Bunnicorn. We draw into another Restoration, so that's gonna be really strong for us. Okay. Gonna go ahead and get a Plains. Swing out into Liliana.
You picked a fight with the wrong Necromancer.
Looking good. We'll be able to play out another Restoration. We'll see if they decide to plus Lily here. Their own hand is getting pretty light, so they might just have to give up the Lily. Shieldred. Yep. Do they want to keep their last card? I think they do. That's just my thought, though. If we do have to discard to Lily, we'll be discarding our Plains. Alright, looks good. Let's go ahead, discard the Regal Bunnicorn. Bring it back onto the battlefield. Let's go... Do we want to go Wedding Announcement or our other Restoration? I think we go Wedding Announcement first. Now, we swing like this. We'll keep our Luminarch Veteran. They'll block 1 with Shieldred. Liliana dies. Nope, they don't block at all.
Oh, that's my cue
Looks
to
good.
leave.
Now, unfortunately, we did have to attack with 2 creatures to guarantee killing Liliana there. That means we drew a card with Wedding Announcement instead of getting that token. But that's alright. Okay, no blocks, we'll take that. We are gonna have to start being conscious of our health. Draw. Yep. Looking good. Let's go Restoration. Get ourselves a land. And we're gonna hold on to the Resolute Reinforcements. Gonna keep the Bunnicorn as a blocker for us. See if we can dissuade some of our opponent's attacks. But as it stands, we actually have a pretty good board state. Sure, Tenacious Underdog, that's fine. Now we are gonna have to block pretty much whatever our opponent swings at us with, but it seems like nothing. Let's go Resolute Reinforcements. Looking good. Lose 2 life. Let's discard and get a Skrelv's Hive. No attacks. End the turn. Good. Wedding it, Festivity has now been flipped over, so we've got that buff on all of our creatures. Alright, Luminarch Veteran is big for us. Let's flash in Resolute Reinforcements. We lose our Luminarch Veteran, so that means Skrelv's Hive is going to start killing us now. But on the flip side, we can play out the other side of Luminarch Veteran and then start swinging in with our tokens, which will give us life as they die. Of course, we can always just start swinging with the Regal Bunnicorn. We have plenty of tokens to block for us. Okay, flip. Do we want to play the other Skrelv's Hive? I don't think so. Let's go ahead, swing with our 16/16 Rabbit. Do we want to swing with anything else? Let's see, we can get another token with the Architects. We'll see, Shieldred might block... Nope, Shieldred blocks the Rabbit. So that's good, we're no longer going to have to deal with Shieldred. Cool. Double block with the Underdog? Sure. Honestly, that's about the best it could have gone for us. We'll gain 2 life. And honestly, I can play out the next Skrelv's Hive because Shieldred is gone now. So we're going to start swinging wide. Nope, Shieldred is back. Okay. So now we are on a little bit of a clock here. We are going to have to gain some life this next turn. So let's go ahead and move to combat. We definitely swing here. We swing with the Phantom. Let's go ahead, swing with this token. Let's see. 6, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Here, we'll just swing for lethal and force our opponent to block. We'll see how this goes. Okay. That works. Alright, on the play. And this looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and keep. Gonna start off with the Luminarch Veteran. Probably play out Skrelv's Hive next. Curious as to what our opponent is playing. I will say it is definitely fun seeing all of the new decks that people are bringing into Standard. I know I have a couple more lined up for you guys as well. So let's start Plains Luminarch Veteran. Alright, opponent starts with Blackheath Cliffs. Swing with a Veteran, deal that 1 damage. Alright. Let's go land. Bunnicorn. Crawling Course. Let's go here. Looks like we're gonna have some decent attacks for our next turn. Alright. Pay 3 life, sure. We'll just get rid of that. Go ahead, swing out. That's some solid damage. Now, all we need is more lands for our cavalry, but it looks like our damage is going to be pretty good. Of course, we lose the Bunnicorn here, which is less than ideal. Alright, swing out. We now have lifelink on all of our toxic creatures, thanks to Skrelv's Hive. Of course, our opponent's down at 8, and we've got it. Alright, opponent going first. Let's see, we've got Lay Down Arms. We'll have our Bunnicorn. We have Skrelv's Hive, Restoration if we get to 3 lands. This isn't bad. I don't mind keeping a 2-land hand on the draw. Never punished. We draw that land. Looks like we're playing into another mono blue deck. Let's see if we can get down Skrelv's Hive. Probably gonna draw a counter here. No. Maybe they bounce it? Nope. Curate. Yeah, so this is definitely a mono blue tempo deck. Next turn, I think we go Restoration. Yep. So this is our free turn. We go Restoration here. Restoration is just going to give us more value. Looking good. Then next turn, we can go Wedding Announcement, Crawling Chorus. Alright, we're gonna discard our Regal Bunnicorn. Get back our Regal Bunnicorn. Let's play a land. We can actually kill the Seed Shark. This is gonna force our opponent to either use a counterspell on Lay Down Arms, or, yep, perfect. So by doing it in this order, we almost guarantee that our opponent doesn't have the counterspell up for when we play our Wedding Announcement. Yep, no attacks. And there we go. Making another token. Now our Regal Bunnicorn is very large, and even if our opponent plays out a Djinn with the 4 spells here, I don't think they're going to be able to adequately deal with that. This flips, more permanent. Looking good. Alright, I think we go Luminarch Veteran. Perfect. Now let's move to combat. And we're going to swing like this. Regal Bunnicorn is going to be something that our opponent is going to have to block. Let's flash in the reinforcements. It's going to give +2 to the Regal Bunnicorn. Gain 2 life as well. So now next turn, Bunnicorn threatens lethal, and the rest of our board, if we take a look here, is going to be very wide. Let's play out Crawling Chorus. It doesn't matter if that gets killed. Yep. We draw a card. Right, yep. That's a bunch of card draw, so our opponent's definitely going to be looking for an out here. Now we do have lethal on board currently. Okay, Djinn. Sure. Now opponent can also flip one of these tokens, so it's not quite there. But with Lay Down Arms, that's going to put us in a really strong position. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and kill the Djinn. Now our opponent has to choose. Okay. Counterspell? Sure. So now they can only flip one of the tokens. And I think we just swing out. No reason not to. We make another Spirit token that makes Bunnicorn bigger. Our opponent has to block the Bunnicorn. Yep. So they can block 3 there. Nope, we've got it. Alright. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed. So as we saw, Regal Bunnicorn is an absolute powerhouse, especially with all of our token synergies. Now, the one thing that I would warn you about is we are very weak into decks that are running board wipes, right? We don't really have a way of dealing with the board wipe. We could just make more tokens to try and get around it. Now, we do have some enchantments that can get past the board wipe. We can flash in Resolute Reinforcement, but again, if our opponent is able to wipe our board once, maybe twice, we're not really going to be able to come back from that. The other thing to consider is our Craterhoof substitute does cost 8 mana, so getting all of that mana onto the battlefield will be difficult, especially in mono white. Make sure to use Restoration for lands when you feel like you're playing towards that Craterhoof angle. instead of going for one of your smaller threats. That being said, though, we are playing like an aggro deck, so it is okay to not go for the ramp there and just play out something like a Bunnicorn if you have a heavy hitter and can start threatening your opponent with lethal. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, and if you have any ideas for another deck you'd like to see me play, why don't you let me know in a comment down below. I'll see you all next time.